Wow, happy Monday. It's a overcast Monday here in Austin, Texas. I was going home, listening to the news, and then there's this one story that just really rubs me the wrong way. There's a few stories that rubs me the wrong way, but I'm only going to talk about one of them. I don't know how many times people on YouTube, people on Twitter, people on Rumble, people that sends their kids to schools had to say, leave them kids alone. Seriously, there's some sick mofos that are teaching our kids. There's some sick mofos teaching the teachers that teach our kids. And we're starting to see this in the UN. Now, this isn't just isolated to the United States. This is isolated to the world. This is on Fox.com or FoxNews.com lifestyle. The new UN backed legal recommendations to normalize sex with minors outrage critics say. Children may consent to sex with adults. This has been the plan all along. Social media influencers charges. What a headline. A shocking report issued by the international legal experts with the backing of the United Nations appears to open the floodgates to normalize sex with minors. Are they saying that because they are the clients of Epstein? Are these the ones that are making laws to make what they did no longer against the law? Or maybe they're not Epstein's clients, but other people's clients. Or maybe these are the people that allow Epstein to run his island in the manner that he ran it. But these are some sick mofos. Sexual contact involving a person below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent of sex may be consensual, in fact, if not law. The Geneva-based International Commission of Jurists wrote on March with the assist of UNAIDS, or I don't even know what that is, and the Office of United Nations High Commissioner of Human Rights reports the 8th March principle of human rights based approach to criminally law prescribing conduct associated with sex, reproduction, drug use, HIV, homeless, and poverty. It published front and center on the group's website. It did not actively call for decriminalization of sex between adults and minors, but it states that children have both the capacity and the legal right to make sexual decisions. Yeah, don't be a bigot. Chop off your dicks, chop off your tits. You can now be transgender, and we allow to. You're old enough to do all that, we might as well let you vote. I mean, that's what I'm reading from this. According to the United Nations, children may consent sex with adults. This has been the plan all along. Social media influencer Ion, yeah, who cares? He's a POS as well. Tweeted over the weekend to his 538,000 followers. The report does not suggest age of sexual consent. It was released on March 8th in recognition of International Women's Day. The commission states online suggesting that there is a connection between women's rights and the age of sexual consent. The once unthinkable recommendation from the international cabal. Sorry, I had a cough. The once unthinkable recommendation from international cabal of the global elites, legal minds appears to be suggesting that pedophilia could be normalized. It touches off a horrific reaction on social media around the world. Yeah, I want to see what he highlighted, so I have to go to his page. Let's see here. Moreover, sexual contact involving a person below domestic. Yeah. Let's see here. Consensual, irrespective type of sexual activity, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression of the people involved in their marital status may not be criminalized in any circumstance. Consensual same sex, as well as consensual different sex relations, or consensual sex relations between or with or between trans, non-binary, and other gender diverse people or outside of marriage, whether premarital or extramarital, may forever therefore never be criminalized. In respect to the enforcement of criminal law, any prescribed minimum age of consent must be applied to non-discriminatory matters. Enforcement may not be linked to sex or gender or participants or age of consent to marriage. Moreover, the sexual contact involving a person below the domestic prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual in fact, if not in law. In this context, enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacity of the persons under 18. I know some places it's 16, but here it's 18. Of years of age making the decisions about engaging in consensual sexual contact, of their right to be heard in matters concerning them, pursuant to their evolving capacity and progressive autonomy. Persons under the age 18 under 18 years of age should participate in decisions affecting them with due regards to their age, maturity, and best interests, with specific attention to non-discriminating guarantees. Some sick mofos. Yeah, I just pretty much read that. Let's see, the hideous report. Even between children and minors is evil. Treat women rights activist Michelle Ura, Melbourne, Australia. She notes that the publications of International Women's Day succeeded in gaslighting women everywhere. The International Commission of Jurors added to the report, in context, enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacity of a person under 18 years of age to make the decisions about engaging in consensual sexual contact. The rights be heard. I already read this. Let's see here. I already read that too. The shocking recommendation from the international legal elites underscored the numbers of major recent events in the United States and around the world that unfolded with bewildering speed. Each development suggests that people in positions of authority have worked to break traditional legal bounds, societal structure, and once universal taboos for the purpose of sexualizing children. Among them, the disturbing case of Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of running an international prostitution ring, reportedly provided underage girls to the global power players. I wonder if that list is about to be released and they want laws changed. There's also a sudden dramatic rise in transgender people and normalization of transgender culture fueled by popular culture and public education, defying all known historic precedents. In addition, educators, in many instances, are now brazenly state that the parents have limited rights over their children while their classrooms grows increasingly sexualized. Well, you know what? I normally don't curse. I normally don't fucking curse, but these educators are fucking sick and deserve the death penalty in New York, not New York, but in Florida. I'm sorry. Parents' rights trump teachers' rights when it comes to education. It's the parents, they're teaching their kids from right and wrong. It's their kids. They send their kids to school because they're legally obligated to, and to teach them an education not to be over-sexualized and not to be in a fight club. There's another story about a substitute teacher doing a fight club in the classroom. That's not what parents send their kids to school for. They send them for an education. For long years of the law, it was proudly gay men. I know profoundly how criminal law signals which groups were deemed to be worthy of protection and which condemnation and ostracism, wrote to retired Judge Erwin Cameron, Constitution Court of South Africa, in the foreword of a report. In this way, the criminal law performs an expression or function and has dramatically consequences of people's lives, and is sometimes entails as harshly discriminatory impacts on groups identified with a disappropriate or stigmatized conduct. If you mess with kids, you deserve it. Fox News Digital reached out to the International Commission of Jurists and UNAIDS and the Office of United Nations of High Commissioner of Human Rights for comment. The report says it was developed over a 5-year consultation process or consultative process following an inter-expert meetings of journalists convened in 2018 by the ICJ together with the Joint UN Programme on HIV/AIDS and the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights discussed the role of journalists addressing detrimental human rights impacts of certain criminal laws. Also says the process of elaboration includes expert journalists, academic, legal practitioners, human rights defenders, and various civil societal organizations working in a diverse legal traditions. Well, you know, let's see what this person says. It also says the process of elaboration, including experts, blah, blah, blah. Not one person's connected with any recognized religion on the panel. Let's see here. Using this logic, there should be no minimum age to alcohol consumptions, smoking cigarettes, which actually went up in recent years, or even driving because, you know, they're mature enough to handle it, despite the legal prohibitions. I can't say that today for some reason. But yet, I have seen impetus on these. I mean, I don't know, just leave the kids alone. Like I said, I don't really have an issue with abnormal behavior when it comes to grown-ups acting in the manner that they're acting. Because who am I to say which way is right? Everybody has their own path to live. They can't follow someone else's path because eventually they're going to have to live their own life. So who am I to say their lifestyle is wrong? But when you start diddling with kids, when you start advocating for sex with kids, that makes you a pedophile. That means that you're a monster that deserves to be put down like a rabid dog, in my honest opinion. And I think Florida is on the right track to give the death penalty for people that mess with kids. Because you're destroying their futures. You're taking away their innocence at such a young age when they're not ready for it. I don't know. I heard this on the radio and I read this story, and it just reeks of monsters running the show. With that saying, that is my video for today. Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. That being said, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.